Hey everybody, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It is Friday once again. Kent wants to welcome us in with Welcome Freedom Fighters to another evening of a regular scheduled unprogramming information get together. Happy Friday to Ag and B and everyone. Happy Friday to you, Kent. So it has been definitely a busy run here at the farm. We have been wrapped up in, it's that time of year where you're preserving everything and harvesting everything, and business is super busy for me right now, so that's taken a lot.
And when it's hot, so that takes like a lot out of you.
Yep, a lot of stuff going on in the community too that takes energy to get to, but I am definitely not complaining. I'm pretty blessed that I get to live a life according to my own terms, right?
Yep,
and
I agree.
That's definitely worth a whole bunch to me for sure.
I agree.
Yeah. So what have you been up to?
And
Anything
there's
exciting?
There's a lot of maintenance involved with that. So
yeah,
it's a full-time job.
Yeah, there's a lot of maintenance involved, but it's good. I mean, it's we're winning more than we're losing, so that's good. Right? Yeah. And I've had just some great news come to me over these last few days on a whole bunch of fronts, so that's super exciting too.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about all of that stuff, kind of as we go on. But anyway, let's get to some hellos. See who's piped in so far. Jules was the first one in.
Good evening, folks.
Would you like it if I put everyone's comment up there?
I thought that you were trying to do that.
Well, I don't usually do it just during the hellos, but and then I do it after that. I try to get to all of them. If you want me to, I'd be happy to do so. If that makes sense.
I was just trying to see what it said.
Jules says, good evening, folks. Remember to show some love and hit that thumbs up. No lives complete without.
Pack Rat,
who says hello all. The instigator himself is in the house, as is Bessie Darling. And we already talked about Kent. Kent was in the house already. Terminator's in the house. And hey, for all your prayer warriors out there, this would be a good time to send some of the Terminator's way. She's having some health issues. Nothing, I don't think anything super serious, but you never know how that stuff goes. As we get older, we recover a lot slower. So you prayer warriors out there, get some prayers out there, and I'm sure that'll be a welcome sign for Miss Terminator. Carrie Davis says, greetings from hot and toasty Arkansas. Hello, Carrie Davis. Will Be Cool is in here from Stifling Gulf Coast. The greatest name on the internet.
Half of Bluff Plum
is in the house. Good to see you, as my buddy is. Indiana Mike. Ahoy. Jane Marie's joining us. Hello, hello. Mandy from Permatopia Farms. Good to see you. The king himself, Jeff Juicy Hefty Lefty Amazon Mundogger Slick. Phyllis is in the house, as is Mary Michelle. So I think I am caught up in reference to, Roman's Girl, 828.
Just in the nick of time.
Just in the nick of time. Oh, it's okay. I'll keep them going as people come in. It usually takes a few minutes for people to, kind of load in. And I'm sure they're all busy doing their own homesteading stuff, which trying to pull time out while it's still light outside, especially when it's hot during the day. This is prime working
picking time.
Yeah, we thought about moving the live, like in the summer to like 9 to give, more time. But the problem is then it's 9. And by the time
or noon.
Done, then it's 11 or middle of the day. That would be a choice, I guess.
That way right now we could be outside picking them tomatoes that are red.
That's right. We'll be doing that tomorrow, I would imagine, right? Would you agree?
Yes.
JCK, citizen broadcaster, the warrior herself, is in the house, as is Gregory Kissel. And Nitos says, need prayer warriors ourselves. Several different issues in the family is going on. Well, this is a good place to come for those because they typically respond in force, Nitos. Absolutely in force. But anyway, so life's good, right?
It is good.
Yeah, you got anything?
Staying busy, processing, preserving.
Yep. Me and B are trying to figure out what our next project is. I've got 4 potentials that are on my list, and we've been debating this. And it's so crazy how it works because you're really looking at, like, none of them have to get done, right? None of them. We can make it through the winter and do just fine. But there's some things that would make our lives easier. Item number 1 would be, I want to get the automatic gate up at the top of the driveway. I have everything to do it. I just need to get up there and do it. And then by creating that automatic gate, I'm also finishing another paddock. So that's another, 8 or 9 acres that the cows can be rotated into, which would be pretty exciting for us. So that's option number 1, right?
And it makes the driveway longer. You don't have to stop halfway to get out and open the gate because if you have a long trailer, you can only get so much in before the gate's there. So if the gate is moved back, then you just pull in
Yeah, you don't have to technically it don't make the driveway any longer.
It makes the entrance. It makes the entrance without having to stop at the road longer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's right.
It makes, because are you going to put a gate up there?
Yes.
Or was the...
Well, I'm going to put a gate, but part of the idea is that if I can get both sides of about half of our driveway fixed, then the propane guy, the gas guy, the Amazon delivery, UPS, all of those can come into the driveway, drop off their package, which means it's not at the road, and then exit without any animals being able to touch any of it.
Right.
I mean, and so that really levels us up, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Real quick though, before we begin, Kent and Paula are with us tonight. Today is Kent's 84th birthday, and he has a lot to be thankful for. 52 years of marriage. Oh my goodness! Well, everybody join in. We're going to sing Kent happy birthday. You want to?
Yes.
Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kent. Happy birthday to you. And
many more.
And Paula, congratulations
for
dealing with it for 52 years.
Yes.
Right. That's a big deal too.
You guys be blessed. That's amazing.
Yep. Chewy Girl is in the house, as is my friend Local Prepper. Local Prepper, what's on? You and I have got to do a video together. We just really need to. We just need to quit slacking and I know, right? Let's see here. Permatopia says, does anyone know how to prepare cat food for it to eat by itself if you have to leave for 3 days? Yeah, there's a lot of cat feeders out there, like where you can take like a Culligan water bottle, Mandy, and just turn it upside down full of cat food, and it'll just dispense, and it'll last a long time just for the cat. But just Google.
Oh, gravity.
Yeah, that's a great solution. Yep. Stan Gunther's in the house. Hello. Hey, my buddy Mario's here. Says, good evening, Groovy Homesteaders. Happy Friday, everyone. I think your priorities need to be focused around the zip line, motocross track, water slide, and the human catapult into the lake.
Oh, no. Not the human catapult.
No. Yeah. Indiana says, second Mario's motion.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. Nitos. And then Mandy also said, happy birthday, Ken. So anyway, the driveway's one. The other thing would be to finish the water system on Bee's barn. So we got the inside of it done. We've got the wells in there. But I need to put guttering up and finish that whole project. And that gives her summertime, springtime, and fall time water, but would not give her winter water. The other thing that it would do for us, it would allow us to run the rainwater in the barn backwards into the house if my well ever dried up. So it would do both of those things, which would be a big level up.
I have water in there now with the well.
Right.
He's talking about adding a whole nother system with the rainwater.
Yep.
So I'm like, well, I have water in there now, so for that to be a priority would be he doesn't want to use the well water to water the animals.
Yeah, but we also have a gate right now, right? So you could say the same thing about the gate.
Yes.
Hey, look at this. Luke, the drifter's in the house and says, I like how Mario thinks. Yeah, well, more importantly, your kids would like how Mario thinks.
Those are all guys.
Yeah. Item number 3 is we got, as you guys know, we bought these semi-loaded solar panels, right? Mm-hmm. And we got 33 new ones here, and I have 18 that are on my solar rack at the house that are old. And I bought them 10 years old when I bought them, and we've been here, 7 years. So they're getting pretty up there in age. So we were going to replace them, but instead of putting them on the racks that are on, I wanted to build a carport because B really wants to park her Jeep under a carport, put her lawnmower under a carport. Yeah, whatever it is. And so, but again, we already have solar panels and they're working just fine. So
yes. But the wires are hanging down and the cows go over there and like lick at them. And then it's.
But you would agree it works just fine.
It does work. Yeah. It works fine.
Yeah.
But it would upgrade our charging speed because of the panels being newer and bigger.
Yes. Give us a little more performance. And then the fourth item on the list would be to build a in-ground cooler for processing animals and storing Bee's produce that she puts up all year long, because, you got to keep that stuff stored. And so that's a bigger project, probably the most expensive project, but to me would be the one that would level us up the most of all of those. But again, we don't need it this year. We can get through without it. Not a big deal. We've got many freezers and refrigerators, but being able to hang a quarter beef, right, to be able to hang the chickens, the turkeys, whatever it is.
Or a place to put all those tomatoes.
All those canned goods.
I've got tomatoes on the table. I've got tomatoes in a tote. I've got tomatoes on the vine. And I'm getting ready to do a tomato day with the girls. So I'm trying to hoard my tomatoes so that I have tomatoes for
Yeah.
Fun day.
Mandy says, Mario, Mike, will it be senior friendly? Well, of course, our kinds of seniors, you know. So those are the 4 options, guys. And what do you think? What do you think should be the priority for me to work on next? I kind of need to know, because then I get started the whole planning process. And yeah, Permatopia says, will the in-ground cooler be different than a root cellar? It'd be different than a traditional root cellar, right? It'd be a concrete floor, concrete walls,
same concept,
concrete ceiling, and you'll walk down into it, and it'll be, mostly buried underground. The lid will be up top, and it'll just be to cool things down. So that's, again, one that I'm probably leaning to, although the other ones are much less expensive.
You didn't tell me that one. You didn't tell me that part when you talked about, when you were like, what do you want me to focus on? And I was like, let's hold up. And you were like, this. Then I was like, ooh, I like that. You didn't say like, hey, this is.
Yeah, but here's the good news, babe. And I don't mean this mean when I say that. Paying for it's not your problem. It's my problem.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I'll worry about that. What I need to know is what gets us the furthest ground. And that's where I want to focus my attention on. Right. And I'll figure out the details.
The detail
for that. So anyway, I'd be interested for you guys to hear 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1 being the driveway, right? 2 being the water system in the barn. 3 being the solar carport, and 4 being the in-ground root cellar / cooler, whatever. What do you guys think? What would you do if you were in my shoes? Because again, none of them have to be done, right? We're going to make it just fine no matter what. I mean, that's one really cool thing when you get going a ways and you've got, a lot of infrastructure. We have a lot of infrastructure. We have dual everything just about. I have many water sources, power sources, and so you get to a point where everything kind of becomes an elective, and it's like, what would make your life a little bit easier kind of position, And so we're blessed to be in that, in that position. But
yeah.
Yeah.
And the paddocks for the cows so that I can stop them from roaming the whole. They
run all 40. Yeah.
Yes. Every day they just go in a circle around the property. And I'm like, well, look, kids, there they go.
Yeah.
Big Ben Parliament.
Yeah. Citizen Broadcaster says root cellar would be awesome. Oh, Indiana Mike, great point. It says cistern number 1.
Oh,
I need to replace my main cistern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Permatopia says, I vote for the in-ground cooler. Oops, where are we at here? Half Bubble Off Plum says, root cellar, another way to store food. Maleg says, hope I said that right, says, prioritize easiest to hardest and get it all done. You're burning daylight sitting on your ass. That's true. I agree with that, actually. Let's see here. RN, welcome in. You did not miss the gathering. Lazy Loper, hello, good to see you. Nito says, a secure place for the food makes sense for leveling up your self-sufficiency. Carrie Davis says driveway infrastructure. Yeah, that would be really cool too. Mario says water storage would be the easiest one to knock out, but just running the rain gutters into the water tank and everything else is pretty much done. Then it's senior friendly zip tie.
Zip line. You said zip tie. You were thinking zip line though, weren't you?
Yep.
That's why you giggled.
That's right. Aljo and Barbara says, happy Friday. Yes, very powerful prayer warriors in this community. Aljo and Barbara are very grateful. Yeah, Gypsy says, in-ground cooler, the biggest level up. Yeah, and there's nothing to say I won't get to more than one of them. But for me, the way my brain works, I got to pick one and
start collecting parts.
Right, because it takes me a while to get them all. And then, who knows what happens. And, cow goes through a fence. I need this, I need that. Something happens. I'm rebuilding something. The plan won't go according to plan. There'll be hiccups along the way. So I just want to pick one and get on it. And then after that's done, I'll, kind of get on the next one. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Number 5, most level up for the money and time is electric fence to subdivide the paddocks.
The paddocks.
Number 5. Yeah.
To be able to get them to eat the stuff that they don't necessarily want to eat. Trying to section off different areas of the farm.
Field, yep.
Yes.
Hey, Mrs. Hacks in the house, the freest people I know. Welcome in. All right. Anyway, should we get to some pictures since we've been just yip-yapping?
Sure.
Okay. Well, you guys know we took Freeman, and it was a sad day for us, but we took him and his compadre into freezer camp. And today, B went and picked up. I love how it stretches those pictures. Anyway, picked up our beef, which is pretty cool. We're getting to head into the winter.
Oh, I see what that is. I was like, what is that?
Yeah. It's stretch the picture.
Yeah,
Forget the first picture. Just look at the second.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get to head into winter again.
Is it because our head's there? If you take our head off, does it make it bigger?
No, it's just because the way the picture is. I don't have any idea, babe. We get to head into the winter with every freezer full.
Yeah.
Right? And that's really the goal, guys. And everybody should set out their goal for the year as, okay, we're going to head into winter, everything stocked up. Everything we can possibly get stocked up, from fuel to, beef to the pantries to, all of those kinds of things. We got steaks, we got burger. What else y'all get? You want to talk about your cut? How you had it all prepared?
I got the briskets. I've got the steaks, a few roasts, mainly ground beef because that's what we eat the most of. And we feed a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept the briskets whole so that when we have our events, we can smoke them or barbecue them or whatever, do whatever we're going to do to them. And there were 4 of those because we had butchered 2 steers. We'd taken Freeman and then we'd taken another one. And I kept the briskets from both of them. And then the ground beef, that little freezer was full of ground meat. That was all that was in there. Well, I guess that little cubby on the side had like a chicken breast and a lunch meat pouch, but that was about it.
Our freezers were getting pretty empty.
They were getting pretty empty. Mm. And we kept the whole beef one of the beefs for ourselves and then for the community because we feed so many people. But then the other beef we had divvied out to our children.
Yeah.
And so
my boys split the other cow. They each got half.
So then we had they did not want the brisket on theirs, so I kept the brisket. But then we had this done at Flint Hills Custom Meats, and they were able to. They did it all for me. So they had taken the weight of the briskets that I had taken from their cow, and they had taken ground beef and put it into theirs to make up the weight of the briskets that I took out. And then the one son did not want anything but beef and ribeyes, or ground beef and ribeyes, and nothing else. And then the other son wanted the fillets, the ribeyes, some roasts and ground beef. And so he had taken the fillets out of the other side and made weight on his side, and then took ground beef from his side to make weight for the other brother. So, and the guys at the butcher did all of that for me. I didn't have to come home, and because I was thinking I was going to come home and I was going to weigh the brisket and see how much it weighed, and then I was going to give the boys the equal amount of burger because they didn't care, and I wanted it for events. But the butcher did all of that for me, like no issues. And I said I'd like the tallow. If you can grind it, I would like it ground. Done. The meat, steaks and roasts all came in these vacuum sealed pouches, all cut.
And hey, Luke the Drifter, so this was your guy we used for the first time. We had never gone here before.
Yeah.
But because they sponsored our spring festival, we felt like what was the right thing to do was to do business with them.
Yeah.
So this was a new butcher for us that we had never used before. Real quick, Poker John says just won 18 steaks today in a beef raffle for $40 worth of tickets.
Wonderful.
Love that. Yep. Yeah, and Malik says, looks better than Jackrabbit and Squirrel. Yes, it does.
Heck yeah.
You sent me this receipt, and I think what you sent me to is the penny thing, right?
Yes. So when I went to pick up the beef, I had already left the house and had gotten a little bit of ways away and realized that it's going to start raining. So I had stopped at Tractor Supply and I bought one tarp and then went home, or went on my way to Onega. And when I had gotten there, the rain had mainly cleared, and I had one of those, like, dumpster bags that you can unfold and you fill with trash, and then they'll come and they'll haul it away for like whatever money. I had one of those in the backpack of the seat of the Jeep. So I had taken that out and I'd used that instead of the tarp. And what?
You're the only person I know that carries a waste management bulk trash can bag. Guys, this is like a 5-ton trash can bag.
It was just it was folded up so nicely in an envelope bag.
Not no more.
So no, it's out. But I had taken that out and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to use this. And they didn't say anything. So I unfolded it in the bed of the truck and put the most of it up over the cab of the truck. That way I filled the back of the truck and then I folded over what was left. And then I just tied down the remainder and I hurried home as fast as I could because it was raining. By then I got home. I was like, okay, I'm going to make it. And then it started to sprinkle. Everything they had packaged in these plastic, but then they had also put them in white, clear, like trash bags. So everything was then in plastic again. We got it home. It was pretty wet, right? But everything was still frozen and we got it in. And that was what that first picture was like, we use laundry baskets because there has been some places that we had gone and they put your meat in butcher paper. There's some places that put them in like just plastic, not this thick of a plastic, but plastic. And then they're like lined in boxes and then they just give you flats of boxes. So you go to different places, you're not necessarily sure what to expect, but I did like the way this was packaged and I got it home with no problem. I think it's like a 40-minute drive from us. Got it home, got it all put away. Helps to have empty freezers because you just take it and put it in, organize it, like play a little Tetris, and then you're done. And then you're full of meat. The Tractor Supply thing, that really, I was like, wait, you owe me a penny, lady. And she goes, we don't have pennies. And then she showed me on my receipt, it says adjusted for penny shortage.
Yeah, which is crazy. Louise says, so this will be your first time eating Dexter. You'll love it. When it's not the first time eating Dexter, it'll be the first time eating a Dexter steak.
Because you gave us a couple of pounds of burger when you moved here.
Yeah, so this will be.
And it was delicious.
Yeah, this will be the first one of our Dexters that went to butcher.
Yeah, and the meat looks delightful, doesn't it? Yeah. It doesn't look.
Yeah, it looks great. RN says, B, have you all tried any of the beef you're showing us? We just got it today.
Yeah.
So we have not eaten any of it. We just literally got it today. That's what we did this morning. Coming in, but I promise I'll report to y'all.
Yes.
I will definitely report to you all. All right. But penny shortage, that is interesting. Beautiful.
Yeah, I was not happy about that. So if you use your card, they'll just take off, whatever, $10.99, $17.99. But if you have money, cash, and it's, $10.99, they're not giving you the penny or the 2 pennies or the 4 pennies.
No,
you're not getting
they're charging you the extra penny.
Yes. Like in this case, they don't round up and give it back to you. They
your total was $17.99. You gave them $20. They refund you $2. They kept the extra penny.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. But either way, super excited that we get to go into
winter, going fully
stocked up from a beef perspective, and we're getting closer and closer on a potato and tomato and canning and all of those perspectives. So
yeah, we're going to fill holes as much as we can.
We are going to.
Here's some holes.
Yep. Speaking of getting caught up, so I now have +6. So I have 24 of these totes full of wood so far. So 24 of those, that's about 12 cords of wood put up. If I had to, I could go into the winter right here and we'd make it just fine.
We'd have to probably come.
Yeah, I might be a little
March. Be skimping.
Yeah, well, I might be a little gentle in the shop and a little gentle on some of those kind of things. But
we have other stuff out in the woods that you can burn in the shop that we didn't pick up yet.
I actually have piles that already split out in the woods.
Yeah.
That I could go pick up. But
that we wouldn't burn in the house.
Yeah, you guys might think this is a whole lot of wood for a house, but the truth is it's a house, it's a community building, it's a shop. It's, we heat more than just the house, right?
Yeah.
So like my wood shop, it's got a wood burning stove in it. And so in the wintertime, one of my actual favorite things to go do is to go lock myself in my wood shop. I turn on a podcast and I build something. It's warm. I get to it's just a great place to be. My absolute favorite place to be.
Then his mess is not in the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like sanding something or cutting something or welding something. And all of that comes with dust and grime and metal shards. And
yeah. But it is my absolute favorite place to be. So I'm 24 in. I think I've got another 8 maybe I can fill. Hopefully. 10 I can fill. So my goal will be to get every crate I own filled.
We have to go down to the community building now and see what is down there that we can empty, because there's some ones down there that have other stuff in. Okay.
I'm counting those in my 8 or 10 that I have left.
Okay.
But again, the goal is to be heading into winter and the other, full. And the other thing is I don't want to wait till it gets cold. I want to just keep trucking at it. The last time I did it, I put up 6 of these crates, and that's what I got done. And the time before that might have been 3, and the time before that, whatever. But I just keep looking for these cooler days, where we go through these cold spells. And thank you, Gypsy. Thank you very much. Gypsy says it's pod 4 finished, B.
No, but I've helped stack this wood. Did a whole bunch of other stuff. Preparing for winter.
Yeah, pod 4 is a great place to spend the winter.
Food and
we're actually really close. All we got is flooring and a little bit of paint, right?
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh, the bathroom. I have to grout out the ceiling.
Oh yeah, there's
the walls, and you have to put one piece of tile up. We kind of stopped working on that and started working on the community building and then the barn and then.
Yep. Mrs. Hack says it's great having other buildings to go to in winter, no cabin fever. Yeah, great point.
Yeah,
I didn't consider that, but it does allow you to get out.
There is no cabin fever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Awesome. All right, let's keep trucking, huh? Wait, what in the world? Oh. What in the world are you doing, Miss B?
Those are potato skin. Potato what? Shavings? What do you call those? And potato, and we have this slicer.
It's a slicer. And it slices them potato chip thin.
But when you put the potato on it, it will spin the potato. So it takes these long ribbons of potato. And I thought I was going to make what do you call it? Like ribbon fries or something. I think they called them at the fair one time.
Yeah. So we made
I was so excited.
Yeah. So B basically made her own, what I would call potato chips.
They were more like chips.
Yeah. They were so good though.
They were not as what I had expected.
I thought they were great.
They did not make me as joyous as I had anticipated.
Yeah, Half Bubble Off Plum says potato ribbons, and Indiana Mike says potato paper. They were actually really good.
It was like paper.
She deep fried them in olive oil. Is that right? What were you frying them in?
Yeah, I'm still using that same olive oil until it goes bad. I'm gonna use up my money's worth.
Yeah.
We've been frying potatoes for days in this oil.
Yeah. So she then salted it with sea salt, right?
No, I think that was Redmond's. It was Redmond salt.
Okay. And then we ate it. I thought it was absolutely delicious to make homemade chips. Nothing was in it but salt, potatoes, and olive oil. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
And the potato came right off my farm, which was super exciting. And what started all this, just so you guys know, it was funny. B had this machine, and I'm like, "What's that?" She says, "I don't know. You bought it for me."
Yeah, Jeanette and I couldn't figure it out. Jeanette goes, "Are there pieces missing?" And I was like, "I don't know." And she goes, "Well, you're going to have to get English instructions." And then Tag goes, "I don't know. Let me see it." And then he was peeling an apple within seconds. And I was like, "So you're not missing any parts?" And he goes, "Well, no, look what I found." And the apple was just
paper.
It wasn't as thin as paper, but it was
pretty thin.
It was pretty thin.
Yeah.
But it was one long whole string of it.
Yeah. So once we figured out that we could make apple paper, basically.
Then I said, let's make potato paper.
Yeah, we can make homemade chips. And B's like.
No, I thought it was French fries. I thought it was like ribbon fries.
Mm.
I thought they were going to be more fry-like.
No, they're chips.
More
Yeah.
more potato on the inside.
Yeah. Know that they're
and I tried to like not fry them as long, and then they were more just raw. Like you have to cook them, but then it's like apparently that fine line is
but it was super, super cool. Hey, Edward Braden's in the house. Edward, how you doing, man? Good to see you. So anyway, we had chips. Yep. And well, I'll explain the first picture and you get the second one, B. So that was me doing elderberries again.
Pouting.
Oh my goodness, I hate that job. But so we got a whole nother batch of elderberries. So the last batch we did produced 2 gallons of elderberry juice, and the second batch, which is what I'm working on right there, will produce another 2 gallons of elderberry juice because it's about the same amount.
But it also needs to be, they need to be harvested again.
Yeah. So we'll harvest one more time, and then I'm done with elderberries for the year. And we'll get a bunch of elderberry juice and keep making jams and syrups and cough syrup and everything else, that kind of goes with it. Half Bubble Off Plum says you could probably dehydrate the apple ribbons in the chips. Mm-hmm. Yes, you could.
That's what it would be.
Yes, you could. All right, what's your other picture?
That's mullein. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I keep getting the flowers and I put them in the oil, and I put the oil up beyond the flowers and it molds. Or I guess it's
not necessarily mold.
It turns brown.
It turns dark brown.
It turns really brown.
Yeah. So does anybody have any tips for B on this? Because she's been at this a bunch.
I've done this like 4 times. I like dump it out and then I try it again. And then I dump it out and then I try it again. And it happens.
Yeah. And I'll guarantee you there's somebody in the audience that knows the answer to this question.
Yeah.
Because I cannot help her, guys. So any mullein warriors out there?
Mullein.
Right.
Mullein flour.
Yeah.
Oil.
No, one of them isn't brown because you just did it.
Yeah, that's the one I just made.
Okay, so you don't know what it looks like.
So I'm like, well.
So you'll see, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've done 2 now since that. There's 2 in there now.
I'll watch the comments to see if somebody has any ideas, because we are out of ideas. There you go, babe.
Yeah, let's give some apples and some pears.
Yep.
We're going to cut them up and make some preserves.
Apple pie filling. What are you going to do with the pears? Probably just can those, right? Because canned pears in that
just in syrup.
Sweet syrup is so good.
In light sugar syrup.
All right, let's see.
I do like canned pears.
Edward says, stick your elderberries in a garbage bag and freeze them. Once frozen hard, all you have to do is bang them around inside the bag and they will come off the stem. Double bagging will help avoid losing any through holes poked in the bag. Now, the way I do it, Edward, is I lay them in a pan and I put them in the freezer and I freeze them. Then I just take them out and rub them like this and pick them all clean. And I haven't tried the bag thing yet, but that'd be worth it. I'd be worth it because I'm just not a big fan of harvesting elderberry. There's so many steps in it, but it's all good.
It's not too bad.
Design 2C says, sorry, I just dry mullein and save it for tea.
The flowers?
Yeah, the flowers, I would imagine. Half Bubble Off Plum says, maybe dry them out a little first before covering in oil. RN says pear preserve. I know I love pear preserve. Welcome in, Miss Jen says high water content will cause it to mold. Yeah. And Louise says, I just dehydrate my mullein and vacuum seal it in a jar. And Tulip Little Angel, hello, says fresh mullein flowers or dehydrated. Dehydrated may be best.
Dehydrate the flowers and then put them in oil? I'm trying to get the infused, like oil infused.
For when people get sick?
Well, no, I want to use it for other things like soap or lotion or whatever.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Or salve.
Got it. Anyway, so we were blessed with some more apples on top of the apples we harvested this year. So we're going to make apple pie filling and then.
Yes. Well, this just helps because what we had harvested from our trees, we would have only have gotten probably 2 batches of
apples.
Apple.
This will give us,
So this will give us at least another batch.
Yeah. So special shout out to JCK Citizen Broadcaster for the amazing gift. We're very thankful for it, and we will put it to good use. Half Bubble Off Plum says pear pie. I've never even heard of pear pie.
I've not had pear pie.
I've never even heard of it. Jen says, if you let it set out for a few hours, not in sunlight, the excess water will evaporate.
If you let the flowers set out?
That's what she's talking about. Packrat says, random, does anyone across the country here see green sweet gum balls on their trees? All of ours are black on the branches and nothing to make hillbilly Tamiflu with this year. Huh. I don't know what a sweet gum ball even is. When we have green balls that hang on our trees, but they're hedge balls, off the Osage orange tree. So I don't know. We don't have sweet gum trees, but I'm sure somebody will know. Edward says, flowers in small jar and cover with olive oil for 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah, that's the problem, is that it keeps turning brown. JB says, I make a tincture with the mullein because it lasts longer than with oil. Good for coughs, congestion, use it externally. It's like vodka. Yeah, Jeannie Gunn, how are you? Says, in vodka, tinctures can do fresh. In oil, most herbs do better after drying. So maybe dry them first.
Okay.
Listening and making relish from the last of the cucumbers. I love that.
Nice.
Half Bubble Off Plum says, we can't really grow apples here, so we make pear pie as opposed to apple. Interesting.
I bet it's good anyway.
Yeah, well, you got a Half Bubble Off Plum. You got a recipe you can email me or something? Because I'd be willing to try it.
Oh, I bet you would.
Yeah, I mean, baked goods.
It's probably just the same recipe as apples, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty hard to...
it's not like a custardy or anything.
Yeah, pretty hard to beat that. Anyway.
It'd be delightful.
Delightful. All right, you want to talk about your harvest there, Pumpkin?
This is one of the harvests. Tomatoes, watermelons, cucumbers. There's a couple zucchinis, spaghetti squash, basil, and whatever that squash thing is that smells like a banana.
That's spaghetti squash. The yellow one?
The green and white one.
A little more like gray and white one.
It's bright green.
Yeah. Look at you. Got beautiful watermelons though. Lots of tomatoes.
Yeah. And the watermelon we cut. Did you like it?
I did.
It was ripe.
Good. Very sweet.
The Amber came and helped harvest, so I sent one of the watermelons home with her.
Half Bubble Off Plum says, correct, same as apple pie. Sometimes we add cranberries as well. Okay, so basically you just make an apple pie, but you just, instead of an apple, use a pear?
Cranberries and pears.
Probably pretty good. Tomorrow morning, we are going to harvest tomatoes one more time.
There's quite a few red ones.
There's a lot up there. And that way what we're going to do with it is B, I'm sure we'll talk about this. She's going to get it all cooked down and get it ready because her and some of the girls are going to make spaghetti sauce, right?
We're going to make something, yeah. Spaghetti sauce is something that I haven't made yet this year.
This year. You've made plenty.
I still have, I think, 2 jars from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And you get enough jars, you don't have to do it every year.
Yeah. Jen says,
but if I get enough, I'll have girls come and help. So I'll send some home with them too. We'll have plenty. I'm going to use my big giant tamale pot.
Let's see here. Jen says, I prefer to dry fully then infuse. Less chance of mold. If that makes sense. And Design to See says, pears, grapes, peaches, pineapple, fruit cocktail. We got pears, we got grapes, we got peaches. We can't grow pineapple.
Fruit cocktail. No, we can't. I've tried to grow pineapple. I had a pineapple plant for like 2.5 years, and then
it died.
I think it got too much water, and the bottom part molded. And I think too, it needed to be outside, not just inside. It got sharp.
Yeah, Tulip Little Angel says pear butter and dehydrated pear slices, lovely at oatmeal. Oh, that sounds great. And the butter for cheese platter or on top of yogurt.
So pear butter I've heard of that. We've made that.
Mm-hmm. I like that, but I like the slices and oatmeal. I'm a huge oatmeal fan. But anyway, this is the first batch of tomatoes, so this is not counting what's there, not counting what we'll harvest tomorrow.
Right.
But they're going to keep working on it because we would like to get a couple of these built up so that when the girls come over, they'll harvest again. and then process those. But when it comes to actual time to make the spaghetti sauce, there's a whole bunch already.
Yeah.
Because this is just tomatoes.
This has already been cooked down.
Yeah.
It was a full water bath canner full, and it cooked down halfway.
Yep. Yep.
What else?
Edward says, use vodka instead of water in your pie crust to make the crust more flaky. Bake one at a time to avoid too much alcohol vapor in your gas stove. Yeah, I love that. And Tulipable Angel says, oatmeal buddies. Yeah, I love oatmeal. Walnuts, a little bit of brown sugar. Like good raisins. That's
butter.
Yeah, a little bit of butter.
Milk.
Let's see. RN says, tag, have you tried steel cut oats? They take a really long time to cook, but are wonderful. I don't think I have.
Like oatmeal, but like thicker.
I love oatmeal. Oatmeal's just great.
You know how when you cook oatmeal, it gets kind of mushy? So these are like, you have to chew them more.
A little more fiber?
Yeah. Fibrous.
Fibrous. All right. I want to show this picture. So Squatchy sent me these earlier.
Yeah.
And apparently they grow like 8 kinds of, and don't quote me on the 8, but it's up there, different types of figs. And this is him inside the netting that stops the bugs and the pests. And then you can see the figs, and then you can see them dried. Apparently, Lazy Loper has been a drying machine. And so I asked Squatchy if I could share these, and he said, of course, share them. So,
are they as tall as you? Your figs?
I would say that they're taller than he is, and that's saying something because that's a big dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Mine are not that tall.
So, but I love watching homesteads win. And any of you guys out there that want me to share pictures of what you're doing in your homestead, just send them to me, and I'll put them in the live.
Fantastic.
And just like we did there, but isn't that beautiful? Yeah, they're out in California, so their climate's a little different than us.
Did you just cut them in half and dry them, or are they like slices?
I would say they're cut in half and dried.
That's what it looks like they're halves.
Yeah, Apple Bluff Plum says my mom used to make strawberry fig preserves when we were a kid.
Yeah.
Love that. So incredible. Yum, 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 yum. Anyway, congratulations, Squatchy Lazy Loper. You guys are winning and rocking like always. I would like to tell you I'm surprised, but I'm not. So, good work. You want to tell them about these?
Yeah. Well, what are you telling about these? I walked into the community building and these were in there.
So, we do a lot of community buys. These are harvesting pails or buckets, whatever you want to call them. There's holes in them. Totes. And
mugs.
One of my buddies across the street found these on sale for $7 a piece. And he was going to go buy a bunch of them for his, farm and just put a note out to the community and said, hey, does anybody want any? And so me and B bought 10 to go in there.
Those are stacks of 10.
Yeah, those are stacks of 10. And so one of those stacks is ours. Who are the other two? Who gets the other?
I don't know.
Somebody gets 2 of the stacks from the community, and then 1 stack Rocky Top Ranch donated to the community building. So 20 of those stay at the community building, and 20 of them are going somewhere, but I couldn't even begin to tell you who they go to or who they belong to. But I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, so
those will come in so handy.
Yeah, that'd be great for just harvesting all kinds of things. And I think they use them in California for grapes. Is that right?
Did
he say grapes or did he say almonds?
That makes sense because there's holes in the side, and you can stack them.
Yeah.
You can cross stack them.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I like about them is that you can cross stack them and stack a whole pile up, which makes that.
And they lock into place so they don't
super
slide.
Nice. Yeah, those have been nice when we were doing potatoes.
Yeah.
Because you could have side stacked them the whole way up.
Yes.
When we were hauling them.
And then they would have had better handles.
Yeah.
Probably more sturdy.
Yeah. Yeah. Super cool. And what about that?
I got my little baby.
Yeah.
I got me a little baby.
Yeah. This is Marin, our newest grandbaby. And if you guys remember, we went to, when she was born not too long ago, we went and had dinner. We try to get out with our kids and have dinner once a month. And so we went to just a local place that we go to often and got to hang out a little bit. And Grandma B.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to hang out with baby Marin.
Yep. She looks like her mommy.
Yep. So this is our second grandchild, which is pretty cool. Hey, look at that. Gratitude to Grace is in the house. Grace and Dig Dug, how are you? Oh, totes. Hi, everyone. Finally made it. Gratitude is grilling dinner. He will be watching shortly. Yeah.
I love food.
Yeah, look at that. Packard says, how cute. Grace says, sweet baby.
She is a sweet baby.
Yeah, very mellow, very chill.
Yeah.
Pretty much let anybody hold her for now. But there will come a time where she don't like me, because that's what happened to my other grandkid. And then all of a sudden they warm up one day.
Yeah.
Now you're buds again. I think it's just because I'm big. What do you think? I have a deep voice, maybe.
Yeah, and you kick them as they walk past.
I would. I wouldn't kick them as they walk past. If they were a little older, I probably would. They're a little young for that. But the first grandchild's getting to about that age.
Got a cow out front in the front yard, walking up the driveway.
Gotta love it. Yep. We have sweet baby. Oh, tell this story, babe. Go ahead.
Oh, we got more babies. Yeah, we got 2 new gooses.
Geese.
We got 2 girls. He had said, what are we going to do with the geese? Because he can't stand the geese. They bite at him.
Yeah, they're asses, man.
Because he kicks at them. He kicks at them, and so they don't like it.
No, I kick at them because they try to bite me, and I ain't putting up with that shit.
Okay, so
okay.
I
don't go seeking a fight.
When they try to bite at me, I pick them up and I relocate them, and then they don't bite me anymore.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
So he suggested that we get 2 girls and see if that kind of gets their attention away from him, so you don't turn into Moo Moo Buckaroo times 2.
Right.
You don't turn into Quack Quack.
Right.
Jack.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a Quack Quack Jack. No.
And so we've got this silver one. I don't know what kind of geese these are, but this one has like a little tutu. She's got like long feathers that like flow behind her.
Have you noticed a difference with the behavior of the male geese?
They were quieter for a while, but now they're back to like
being annoying.
Yeah, they're like, hey, there's something moving over here.
Yeah,
that's what they do. They're mainly just like watchdogs. They if there's something different, there's something moving that they're not familiar with, they honk and they tell you like, I'm over here, or something not right.
Nito said maybe it's the beard. Might be. Design to See says Gosling's geese are good watchdogs. They are, and I think they do a great job of what they do. Design. They're asses.
Yeah.
I don't like them because I'll be bent over working on the barn or something. They'll get me from behind. I'm just not going to put up with that. I'm just not going to do it.
They goose you.
They goose me. That's right.
And sometimes the goosing hurts.
Hey, Lisa, welcome in. Yeah. So anyway, they got partners and they seem to like each other. So this is paddock 1. Yeah. This is the animal pond.
And they've learned to dive. So they go under the water and they swim across and then they pop back up. And they love it.
Yeah, this pond's about 8 feet deep and keeps water in it year round. And this is actually the main water source for our animals. We've got a well there. We've got other options there. But this is really what waters our animals 10 months out of the year.
Yeah.
11 months. 11 months.
Even through the winter, I go out there and this is what I use. I cut holes in this to feed them. So this is available 12 months out of the year.
Yeah, Design to See says the gray one looks like a pilgrim goose.
Pilgrim.
They have become a little rare. Yeah, well, I've got a really good relationship with my neighbor, and he was the guy. Then we started all of this. That we sat down and said, "Hey, let's go build a town." I've known him for a long, long time, and so we often trade animals. I mean, I can't tell you the number of roosters that I didn't want that ended up at his farm, or turkeys, or whatever.
We're gonna kill this rooster. I'll take it.
Yeah, right.
Take it now.
Right. So we've kind of gone back and forth with a lot of that, but it's been super cool.
Oh yeah, he ended up with a bunch of turkeys. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He ended up with Tom and Tomas and Tommy.
Yep. And so we just do trading back and forth, and it's really a cool gig because if I've got something and he can use it, I don't charge him for it. It just goes. But these geese were free, didn't charge me anything. Just brought them over and said, let's see if it'll help, and if they don't help, then I'll take all 4 over, but then we'll be done with them.
Yeah, he said he'd take all 4 back.
Yeah,
because the first 2 came from him in the first place.
Yeah, as babies.
Yeah, we've had them.
And we were told, what with geese, handle them. And boy, did we every day, every single day.
They were I guess they live to be like 30 years old or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you gotta partner for life.
Just think, by the time those geese die, you'll be on Social Security.
Right. I'll be having to push myself out here in the wheelchair.
Isn't that beautiful, though?
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Apparently, they're
having fun.
Yeah. I love they have their own water source. That's they're really the only animals that go in the water to swim besides the cows, the dogs.
The dogs.
Right, but nothing else really gets in it. But
the chickens and the turkeys.
Yeah. The goats hate the water. So
no, the goats hate the water.
Yeah.
I don't even think the goats drink water. I think they drink their own urine. Well, I've seen them do that. It's disgusting.
All right. You're up.
This crazy town here.
Yeah. What do you got going on here?
Yeah, this is MMR. She said, hey, I have a plan. Let's make a mess. And I was like, okay.
I don't think that's what she said.
What'd she say?
She said, let's organize the pantry.
Oh.
Let's organize something. I don't see any part of her that says, let's make a mess.
Oh. It was a mess. Yeah. We pulled everything out. She had started it. I came over and helped.
Yeah.
And then we started putting stuff back in.
So all this stuff you see came out of the pantry that's in the community building. All of it. And they spread it amongst all the tables and
put like items together, married things together, put stuff where they belonged.
Are you guys done with this project?
Basically, it just allowed more space so that I can get some of the other kitchen stuff out of the processing kitchen over here and put back over with the other stuff. So the holes that we have created.
Yeah, and I actually have a picture of that for you, just for you.
I will fill. See all these holes? I will fill these holes.
Yep.
With more stuff.
Yeah, they did do a great job. You guys did do a great job of getting it packed tighter and more space.
There were a bunch of like empty boxes in there. We were just keeping empty boxes in case we needed an empty box.
Let's see, Nitos says, I have a hen that refuses to be caged that follows me around the yard pecking at my legs. When she gets to be too much, I put her in her crate. Then she squawks loudly like she is cussing me.
She probably is.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably exactly what's going on.
She probably has a little attitude problem. She's telling you about it.
Yep. All right. Something you guys may or may not know about, I've said it a couple times on the live, is that EMP Shield is building Faraday bags now. And we've been through 7 or 8 iterations, lots of testing, all of that stuff. And I brought one home with me just so I could show it to you guys. Here, let me remove that so you guys can see.
Are you going to turn the light on?
We could try. Better. So this is a first run of the Faraday bags. And this is not the final product because we're still making lots of little changes, but this one's been all the way through testing. I just thought I would show it to you guys. If you look inside, where am I? Oh, right there. So, you put the items in there, and then you
Velcro it together.
It's not Velcro.
Whatever it is some kind of.
And then you clamp it together, and then you zip it up in the bag. So, the bag. Down inside of the bottom, down in there, there is dividers that are in there, and what do we got? Three pockets on the outside. So,
and there's pockets over here. There's pockets on the sides too.
Oh yeah,
and then there's a loop for a shoulder bag.
So 2 non-zipper pockets and 3 zipper pockets.
Yep.
On the outside.
And then a handle with a Velcro to keep them together. It's like reminds me of a pilot's bag, a pilot case.
Yeah. I'm actually going, when I go fly to the premiere of 1 Second After, I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to take one of these through the airport and with my stuff in it. And I'm betting, I don't know if it works exactly the same, but I'm curious to see, I'm curious to see what their scanners see in my bag if it's inside the Faraday bag.
They wouldn't be able to see in it.
I'm not exactly sure, but I'm not the scientist. But anyway, they're pretty cool. They'll be coming out very, 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 very soon. We're going to make a lot bigger generator bag, and maybe a build your own backpack set with a bunch of different pouches, maybe a backpack. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you guys as they're coming off production what they look like.
What they look like.
Do you have any type of humidifier built into the bag? No, you could put moisture collectors in there, but you don't want to pop a hole in it because you put a cord in it, Mario, that plugs into the wall to run a dehumidifier. You've eliminated it being a Faraday bag. So I guess you could put a battery operated one in there if you wanted to.
Or a moisture absorber.
The moisture absorber I'm talking about.
Silica pack or whatever they are.
Yeah, that would probably work out best. But yeah, you don't want to put a cord coming out of that because all that stuff will just track right onto that cord and follow it right in. So that would not work. But I'm pretty excited about it. And if negotiations go correct, we'll make some limited edition 1 second after bags, which will be super cool.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah. But
that's the one you should take with you.
Yeah. Well, we'll obviously we will see. Oops. Go back to that. All right.
So what, you have to put your email address
so
in
what
for
this,
something?
Yeah, what this is on the, if you go into the EMP Shield website, it says if you're interested and want to be emailed when we open the sale for them, just let us know.
They're not available yet.
Not available yet. They're still in production. So but if you go into EMP Shield today, you'll see shelves and shelves and shelves of them because they're making them. But what we don't want to do is say, okay, they're for sale, and then you sell out in one day, and it takes me weeks to replenish. So you just got to kind of manage that, just a little bit. Grad Dude Gray says, our son just had us buy Faraday pouches for our key fobs that auto unlock the car. They work well. Can't unlock the car with the key fob in the pouch. Yep, we have a lot of fun with these. One of the best tests is just throw a cell phone down in it and call the cell phone. If it rings, it doesn't work. If it doesn't ring, it does work,
Yeah.
But actually,
did you do that?
Oh yeah, many things. We actually have a machine that does it now. That we have sensors that go down inside the bag. So we're not using the cell phones anymore, but but that would work really good. One of the ideas that I have is I might donate some of these to a local school because they just came out with a new law: no cell phones in school. And so when they walk into school, the classes collect all the cell phones. I wonder how much of the day they spend listening to them ring.
Ugh.
Right? What if I could create a bag that they could throw them down into? They'd never have to listen to them ring again.
Yeah. And
just donate to a couple schools. I think it'd be cool to have one of our local schools, pimping out the EMP Shield Apocalypse bag.
For the schools?
Yeah.
Cell phones?
Yeah. I think that would be cool.
And the principal could take it home in the nighttime.
Yeah. Indiana says smart move on the key fob replacement. Yeah, for us at home, what we store in ours is, a couple laptops, any of the Baofeng radios, any of that kind of communications equipment's great in them. The only negative to a Faraday bag is the item has to be in it, which means you can't use it. Right? It's in it. You have to open the bag in order to do it. But let's see here. Squatchy says, hey, y'all, been listening while Mongolian slave lording here. Yeah. You know what, Scotch? I tell you, I feel sorry for you, but I do a lot of Mongolian slave lording. Speaking of 1 second after, I am still in negotiations with them. It's come a long, long way. Last week, I would have told you that I was 50% there. Now I'll tell you I'm probably 80% there. I've got a big meeting with their team coming up a week from today in the morning, first thing in the morning. And I think there's a very strong shot that every single person that sees a 1 second after will also see EMP Shield ads and Faraday bag ads and stuff like that and be an official partner. So I'm very, 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 very close. Again, I don't want to jinx it. So I'm not going to say we're there, but we are definitely closing into it. And Esquire Magazine just put out a big article about the movie 1 second after. And Netflix is now starting to advertise it and all of that. So it should be pretty cool. It looks like it will go into all the big movie theaters, U.S. and abroad, and then will come out on, your Netflixes and your Angel networks and, things like that. So ought to be pretty cool. And I think we'll do some custom EMP shields and some custom Faraday bags for the movie, I think.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Thought you guys might like that. When I was doing some searching today on the 1 second after movie, I came up with something I didn't know they were doing. You guys probably heard me talk about it a lot of times. There's a video out there on YouTube called The Jones Plantation. And really what it's about is how the two-party system works in America, but done in the time of the slaves, back in the 1800s. And it's really a powerful, powerful, simple video. If anybody could understand it, it's got 686,000 views. It's 14 years old. But apparently they're building a movie and they're in post-production of the Jones Plantation, which if you go to jonesplantationfilm.com, you can see a little bit about it. But anyway, I'm pretty excited to see it because hopefully they stick true to what the video talks about. Because if they do, it just describes the two-party system at an 8th grade level that, everybody can understand, and it makes just absolute perfect sense. Hey, Helen, happy harvest. Helen, how are you? Welcome in. Oh, there you go. I'm just talking about the kind you don't take power, moisture absorber. Oh, yeah. So there's pockets and dividers down inside the bag, Mike. And so you can lay them in there super easy. Might be something maybe we could even supply with the bag. We shall see. But what else? Don't forget freesteading. We'd love to have that community grow there. It's growing slowly, but it's definitely growing. And we'd love to have your guys' input. So go over there, say hi to me, and I would.
And they're still doing the Wednesday meeting chat, right?
I think they're still doing it on Zoom.
Freesteading
on Zoom, yeah. Instigator, you want to verify that for us?
Where you can contact Instigator, and he can give you a Zoom link, and then you can get on and chat with people. Actually see people, yoke up with people, see their faces. It's kind of nice to be able to see all of you guys.
Yep. And I confirmed this morning that Pat Milicic will be here for the Fall Festival. And that morning there's going to do a self-defense seminar. And that'll be done in Holton at New York Abbey with the local gym and local community member. And so they'll do that. And then at about 11 o'clock, he'll come to the actual Harvest Fest at my property. And for those of you guys who don't know, Pat is a UFC, champion, UFC Hall of Famer, but he's kind of interesting. He began as a Iowa farm boy and then returned to the dirt. After he got out of all of that, now he owns a company called Soil Saviors and also one called Cell Saviors. But anyway, you can, if you go to their website, I just put this picture up here. You can go there, put in your name, your first name, last name, and email, and they'll give you a free course. Thank you, Jen. There's the link to freesteading if somebody wants to go check it out. Anyway, there's a free course there about soil health you guys can go take. And the other thing you can do is you can actually come to the Harvest Fest and you can listen to him speak live about soil health and self-defense and how it all works, kind of together. And so he'll be there. Our food is offered by City Edge Barbecues. The first time we're bringing an outside source for food. And there are a whole bunch of reasons why we're doing that. Still going to do a fireworks show.
And it's a food truck, right?
Yeah.
Food truck.
Barbecue. It's local, but barbecue. Lots of kids games, lots of things going on, but really, guys, it's just about community. And, I always advertise it, do your part to the reemergence of community. We really do this to target our local community because, a lot of people don't know this, but it isn't by accident. We do it to insulate the community. Mm-hmm. And that's what it does. It provides those outer layers of community, those outer circles. And it really is a beautiful insulating thing that we can continue to build over time that really protects the community and our way of life. And so we try really, really hard to get many, 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 many locals to come, build many, many friendships. And I built a whole bunch since we began this whole process.
Oh, yeah.
People who text message me, email me, very often. And so it's super exciting. But we do have some of the details worked out. They're going to do a lot of kid stuff, giant Jenga, pinata, cornhole, ring toss, three-legged race, etc.
Hayride.
We'll do a hayride. I did mention fireworks, lots of food, Pat Milicic. I'm betting that because at that time we'll be getting very close to the general election. We might have a county commissioner or two or someone else come. And there you go. Pyro Paul says fireworks show. Yeah.
Oh.
What would a guy like Pyro Paul know about fireworks, huh? I bet a little bit. Yeah. Jen says, by the way, Pyro Paul, welcome in. Soil Savers, there's the link to Soil Savers. He will be bringing lots of their products and stuff that they use on soil out. So you can have conversation. I was thinking you should reach out to Nancy at Buffalo Seed Company because that would be a good combination to all of this. Because you could get those, all those heirloom seeds grown for this area.
Yeah.
Soil health, all that stuff. We could have a nice big conversation. So I know that Hax is in the live tonight, and I also know that the beautiful Louise Wesley's in live, and they're really the brain power behind this event. So I hope I didn't say anything wrong, and if I did, I'm sure you'll correct me. But looking forward to it, and that's what comes next for us, September the 26th. It'll be an all-day event, again, starting at MMA and ending in fireworks, and somewhere in the middle, we're going to talk about dirt.
And hell.
And
hell.
Yep.
Because I think it all kind of goes together.
You like all that?
Yeah.
I bet you do. Yep. Anything else on your front? We talked on farm-related that I didn't get to in the last hour and 5 minutes? Yeah, Conserve Friends, welcome in. Says, just in time for the good news. Just in time for the good news.
Nope, I have nothing else.
Nothing? What are your plans for the rest of this week? We're going to do harvest tomatoes?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow and Sunday?
Well, some Sunday.
Oh, Sunday we have community day.
Whole other day.
Yeah. So tomorrow's tomatoes and right back to the process? Potatoes, maybe?
Yeah. Well, definitely frying some up.
Yeah.
Making some French fries.
Yeah, I've been super, super, super spoiled in that.
I've been
making me homemade fries.
That's not spoiled, honey. I'm poisoning you with my oils.
Yeah. So, super good. Should we get some good news?
Yes.
Hey, first thing I want to talk to you guys about. I'm quick to bash on everybody, but sometimes things go well too. And Chris Kobach, who is our Attorney General here in the state of Kansas, and he is. You either love him or you hate him. He's the guy that demands ID to vote. So our state, you have to show ID to vote. You don't get to vote any other way. And it's been that way for a long time. So when you see all this stuff on the news about you have to have an ID to vote, many states already require an ID to vote, just so you know. Anyway, Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach on August 4th announced victory in a case where he argued firearm suppressors should not be required to be registered with the federal government. Kobach, who characterized suppressors as protective hearing accessories, represented Kansas along 14 other states. So our Attorney General he brought this case and led this case with 14 other states and a group of private plaintiffs who challenged the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and specifically the group commanded at the ATF to stop enforcing registration, reporting, and record-keeping requirements that apply to suppressors and short-barreled rifles and shotguns. And this is according to the Kansas Supreme Court. And why this is so important is, and what really comes of this, if you guys remember, they took away the stamp, the $200 stamp for a suppressor. Well, as soon as they took that away, then why are we registering? Because the only justification for registering was you had to pay the $200 stamp. Now that got removed, now it's not. The argument is it's not constitutional. I would have argued it was always not constitutional. But there's a lot of stuff going on now back and forth amongst these 14 states. There were states already in the union that are selling short barrel rifles, suppressors, and short shotguns today with no paperwork, no registration whatsoever. And you got to, then the gun perspective, you still got to pass the background check, but the silencer, you don't have to. It's you just walk in, you give them money, and you leave with it. I think this is great news for Americans. I don't understand how you can regulate an accessory. Furthermore, the silencer doesn't improve its performance, its accuracy, or any of those things. In fact, I would argue it lessens it. What it does do, though, is it offers hearing protection, and it's a safety item, and I think it's a great deal. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. But hats off to Chris Kobach, hats off to the state of Kansas for taking the lead on this, and hopefully we'll get some of our Second Amendment rights back, right? As they've slowly kind of, begun to whittle them away. Yeah. I thought tonight I would start a little bit on the finance side. And so I thought since I started with good news on Kansas, I'd pick on Kansas. But I want to tell you guys this. What I'm about to share with you guys, it's true for every state. This isn't a Kansas thing, okay? It's just the way it is when you start printing money like they've printed money, since really it started, the 2008 crisis was the big kickoff, and then obviously through COVID. But back in 2020, just to give you guys an example, a family of four in the state of Kansas needed $52,300 to meet their basic monthly expenses. These were things like car payment, homeowners insurance, mortgage, health insurance, food, car insurance, utilities, those kinds of things. So this doesn't include gas. It doesn't include entertainment. It doesn't include going on vacation. But in 2020, we needed 52,300. By 2025, it had grown to 81.5. And if you project out at that same rate, it'll be 118,500 in the year 2030, which is a 113% increase over the course of those 10 years. And why this is so important is because the average income in the state of Kansas back in 2020 was $72,000. So let's put this into perspective. You needed 52 to meet the basics. The average household income was 72, which means there was $20,000 left over. $20,000 to put your kids, money away for your kids' education, to save for retirement. That was $20,000 that you could take a vacation, that you could buy, the motorcycle or whatever it is whatever it was that that you wanted. The problem is that by the time you get to 2025, so last year, the average income at that point had grown to $91,000, but it took $81,000 to just make ends meet. And so basically you went from having $20,000 extra to having $10,000 extra. And again, this is average, but if you follow this out to 2030, you begin to go in the other direction, and it will require $118,000, but the average will only be $115,000. Why this all matters is there was a magical line that we're going to cross in 2027 where the average income in the state of Kansas will no longer provide for the basic needs. Right? And this is a really, really, really important. The whole graph, which typically would go like this, right? It's going to invert coming in 2027. And again, Kansas is in better shape than many states. Okay, many, but it's absolutely going to invert. Now, this whole example that I gave you assumes a couple things. It assumes they don't raise taxes anymore. Right?
Well, we know that's not going to happen.
Right. So assuming, now I know we're getting ready to go on a big tax fight right here in my county. If they raise taxes, it just pushes that inversion of the graph up quicker.
Oh, closer to now.
Closer to now. Right. And I would argue that, I'm going to say it another way. How many of you guys think the national inflation numbers, according to the Bureau of Statistics and, those types of things, are accurate? Okay, because the Census Bureau, all of that stuff, the information in these pictures assume that the inflation and everything is exactly what they say it is. Mm-hmm. So I would argue very quickly that it's not accurate, and the inversion's already happened. We're already there, but according to their numbers, it will take place in 2027 as far as the state of Kansas goes. Guys, this information is very easy to find for your state. All you got to do is ask it, and it will absolutely come.
What?
Well, like for example, you could go to Grok or any of the AIs, and you could say, "How long will it take for the basic needs of a family of four to exceed the average income in the state of Washington?" You can find that information. It's not super difficult. Let's see here. Mario says, I think the complaint they will throw at the suppressor is it doesn't give people a fair audible warning that there is an active shooter. Yeah, I think they can make all kinds of arguments, but again, it's a firearm accessory. So I think it's a silly argument, and, that's what I think. But we shall see. We're going to see what happens in all of this. I do not own a silencer today. I'd love to. But I never wanted to go down the registration, and I never wanted to go get the tax stamps. That's why I've never done it. But change the rules, I'll be there. So let me see. Packrat says they keep changing the goalposts on the inflation number, keep changing the markers they monitor to measure inflation. Yeah, so it's this number. The numbers in here are very underinflated. All of these numbers are far worse. But I could cover some of them with you if you guys are interested. So car payments are up 71% between 2020 and 2025. Between 25 and 2030, we'll go up another 50. So they're saying that over that 10-year period, car payments will be up 156%. Homeowners insurance will be up 142. Mortgage will be up 120. Healthcare will be up 102. Food will be up 89. Car insurance will be up 89, and utilities will be up 73% in that exact same time frame.
How in the world are people going to afford that?
They're not. This is exactly what we're saying. I mean, they said we would own nothing and be happy. This is what they meant.
Oh my gosh.
Right? This is exactly what they meant.
So, I mean, you're going to get rid of the car payments. You're not going to get rid of the house, right?
Well, hopefully people get smart.
Mortgage.
Pay as much of that stuff off as you can. Food, hopefully you grow some of it.
Car insurance.
Yeah. Well, what will happen?
Health insurance.
Yeah, people will start. They're already record numbers of people not running. They'd rather take the fine of Obamacare than they would to pay for the health insurance.
Yes, we know several people that do
that. Because it's just, it's cheaper when it's all said and done. Let's see here. Helen Happy Harvest says, I don't know what the state is doing. I only know what I am doing. Let's see here. Pyro Paul says, silencers are scary because of Hollywood. Right. 100% right. Packrat said, Hollywood is funny. I've seen them thread a silencer onto a revolver. Yeah, that's funny. I don't trust any of the government, the numbers the government tells us. We are being told things to manipulate us. Yeah, and again, it's crazy as that whatever the truth is worse than what they're telling us. Agreed?
Probably.
Okay. This is the pictures that you're seeing up on the screen is what they're telling us. Right? Based on their numbers, right, we're going to invert in 2027. And that's a very dangerous place to be. But guys, the good news is it. And there's a lot of things we can do about it. Pay debt off. Don't take on debt you don't need. Right? Work on growing some of your own food. I mean, there's, other ways to get health protection. We participate in a direct care model here.
Yeah.
Right. Which is obviously way less money, maybe buy lesser cars. But isn't it crazy how the government thinks that you should do with less so that their needs can be met? Right.
Yeah.
Why is it they always steal the levels of production and never build them? Wouldn't it make much more sense to build the levels of production instead of just taking them? What do you mean by taking them? You tax them. The more money you make, the more taxes you pay, right?
Yeah. The more you buy, the more we take.
Yeah, it would just certainly make a lot more sense to do it the other way. But apparently I'm in la la land because no politician I know even thinks about that kind of stuff. They have a nice little apartment in the city for you. They have public transportation to get around to. That's right. Absolutely right. And they have food stamps if you can't feed yourself. And they have government subsidized health care if you can't do it. Right? You don't have to have a mortgage because obviously you'll be in the apartment, which means you won't need homeowners insurance. But you can get an Obama phone. I bet that'd be cool. Right. Jen says, remind me of the cartoon Wall-E where everyone floated around and the robots brought the people everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's where we're heading. And they're totally going to sell all of it as a issue of safety. Yeah. Right?
Convenience.
Yep. Safety, convenience. Like the flock cameras, just like all that's all about protecting you.
Yeah.
And the problem is us dumbass people say, man, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And then you wake up in the surveillance state. Right? And everything's controlled around you. What you eat. I mean, just buying good food. It's crazy. Me and B went to Walmart. The Sam's Club, sorry. We went to Sam's Club. And we were walking up and down aisles. We couldn't find anything. She'd turn it over. You could talk better about this, but
he's like, this one doesn't have any natural flavoring. And I'm like, soybean oil, corn syrup. And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, this one doesn't have, and then he'll say, pick another one. And he's like, well, this one doesn't have, and he'll pick one of the other ones. Doesn't have sunflower oil. And I'm like, but it has 3 of the other things. And he's like, we can't have any of this stuff. And I'm like, no, you really shouldn't be having any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Really, you shouldn't.
Yeah. Sometimes a guy just wants a cinnamon roll or a cookie or something, but it was kind of depressing. I walked every single snack aisle in Sam's Club
just
and
didn't buy. You can have some nuts, you can have some fruit. And he's like, what about a donut? And I'm like, no. What about these brownies?
Yeah. I remembered within 5 minutes of being in Sam's Club why I never go shopping.
And then I find something. I'm like, look at these kite bars. And I'm like, they have 7 ingredients in it. And he's like, those taste like crap.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm like,
feed them to me. It's like eating a piece of cardboard. Anyway.
It's like dates and
we did buy
sugar.
Some 100% fresh squeezed orange juice.
Yeah.
From pesticide covered oranges.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, it's $100K officially the middle class. Yeah. Here's how much it costs to live comfortably in every state. So in my state, it says $197,000. I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of really successful people who don't make $197,000. Right. You live in Colorado at $265,000. Right. Isn't that crazy how Colorado and California are almost the same number?
Is that the highest?
Yeah, that's a lot.
279. New York, right?
Yep. The new American dream is apparently making $75,000 a year and doing absolutely nothing. No vacations, no restaurants, no dates, no concerts, no Netflix. Cook every meal at home, drive a reasonable car, rent a one-bedroom apartment, put a little towards retirement. Congratulations. After normal expenses, you might have a few $100 left at the end of every month. 75,000 used to sound like you made it. Now it sounds like you just qualified to participate, which is exactly where they want us, participating. I feel you, Tag. I feel like an 8-year-old asking my mom for permission every time I go to the store. I'm constantly having to put things back on the shelf. Yes, it was depressing. I'm like, this is no fun. And then we get one cart, not even full, $400.
I know. He was like, it wasn't even full. I had to hear it all the way to the car. And I'm like, I know.
So exciting. We're living in such interesting times. The U.S. bond market can snap anytime. Paper money will be worthless and gold will be repriced overnight. Ray Dalio warns that the U.S. has already passed the point of no return and the debt crisis is inevitable. National debt has reached $40 trillion. Interest payments have surpassed defense, and the U.S. deficit is now widening. Washington is presuming the Bank of Japan will not dump the U.S. treasuries, which could lead to a global liquidity crisis. Meanwhile, the Chinese yen is showing immense strength against the dollar. Why? China has been stacking gold for nearly 2 years straight, and Hong Kong, Shanghai just created a dollar-free gold settlement network. Today, China internationalizes the gold-backed yuan and payment system for the first time ever. Yuan-denominated gold trading is coming. The golden yuan infrastructure is alive. Stop ignoring it. Truly understand it before it's too late. Robert Kiyosaki, which is the guy that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, warns that an AI-driven crash could hit within the next 3 to 4 months. He believes automated systems will amplify panic selling and trigger the biggest financial crash in history. AI cannot measure insanity. I think this was a good point, because if you remember back to the Great Depression, how that collapse happened, it was actually relatively slow because they had to put paper orders in, right? And think about how information spreads today.
Yes.
Right, and how fast it spreads today.
Fast.
So by the time you realize it's happened, you've already lost all your money. Grace says, Laura bars are a favorite snack for us. 3 to 5 ingredients that are natural and you can make them at home. Did you write that down?
No.
You probably should. Because I'll try them, but if they taste like shoe leather, like the last ones you tried to get me to eat.
Shoe leather.
Horrible.
It tasted like cookie dough to me.
Yep. Check this out. So the percentage of Americans who are married and own a home at age 30. In 1960, 52% of people age 30 were both married and owned a home. By 1970, it had grown to 48%. By 1980, 45%. 1990, 43%. 2000, 35%. 2010, 25%. And today, only 12% of Americans age 30 are both married and own a home. Right? Did you know that if you make $15,000 a year, it's considered poverty? Near poverty would be $31,000. Lower income would be $55,000. Lower middle class would be $83,000. I can't believe that $83,000 today puts you in lower middle class. If you make $125,000 or less, you're in the middle class. Upper middle class is to $167,000, and upper income's $167,000 and above. Guys, 5 years ago, these numbers were half that. This is absolutely insane. RN, good night to you. Edward says Venezuela was actually about the gold. They have the largest gold reserves in the world, but can't mine it because of the cartels. Mario says, come on, Tag, shoe leather's not that bad. Just need to throw a little kale on it.
Make it taste better.
Gross. But the good news is Republican Dan Crenshaw has a solution for all of us. Most people don't realize how bad this is. Sean Ryan just had a holy shit moment. Mike Rowe dropped stats that expose a massive ticking time bomb. There are 7.5 million open jobs. Most don't require a 4-year degree, but student debt is 1.7 trillion. We're lending money we don't have to these same kids who are never going to be able to pay it back, to train them for a bunch of jobs that don't exist anymore. It's stupid. You've got 6.9 million able-bodied men who are not only not working, they're not looking for work. That's never happened. We have a colossal imbalance in the workforce. Not a week goes by, I'm not even exaggerating, that Mike Rowe Works doesn't hear from the leaders of some consequential industry or a CEO of a big company or some elected official who is really ringing the alarm bell. Blue Force Alignments, the company that oversees the maritime industrial base, there are 15,000 companies who are collectively charged with delivering our nuclear-powered submarines. They called. They're like, we're having a hell of a time finding welders and electricians. Can you help? I said, maybe. How many do you need? And they replied, 400,000. Republican Dan Crenshaw, as I mentioned earlier, had a solution to all of this. He's a Republican from Texas, and he tells Americans facing these high prices to stop whining, get a job, and eat some ramen. Quote.
Oh. Yikes.
Yeah, that's exciting. They need to vote his ass out. Walmart was exposed again for shorting their product weight. This time, it was bacon. Great value bacon. If you take unopened package of their bacon and place them directly on a scale, all three are short, but it doesn't stop there. If you cut open the packages and weigh each one of them on the scale, they are all short by about 2 to 3 strips of bacon in weight. So we're talking about 3 strips of bacon, which means every 7 to 8 packages short equals a free 100% profit package. You can do the math and tell that the scale, this ends up being a massive profit from Walmart. It's intentional. I actually did the math on this. Walmart sells about 6 to 12 million packs of bacon per month. If they short about 3 pieces per pack, or about 2.5 ounces, this means Walmart makes an extra estimated 8 million per month in profit. Mm. And me and Beef talked about this.
By shorting the people.
Yeah, right. Me and Beef talked about this a lot. Is that inflation? A lot of thing that comes to it. It's not just always higher prices. It's lower quality, lower quantity, or higher price.
Yeah.
And they'll wage all 3 of those. So you'll get the same priced vehicle, but they dump the quality. You'll get the same, price, whatever they dump the quality, right?
Yeah.
Or they can raise the price. And or all 3 of those. The Wall Street Apes reports Americans say this is the last time they're ever going to eat at a Waffle House. The prices have increased so much. He simply can't afford it anymore. The All-Star Special is priced at $22.20, on sale for $16.50. In 2016, this exact same meal at Waffle House was $6.89, and in 2004, it was $4.99. These new prices far outpace inflation and are just theft. Stop going and let them go bankrupt. Well, the problem is it isn't even necessarily them. It's suppliers. It's the whole chain that when 100 people in the middle with their hand out that creates this, right?
Yeah.
As it goes along. Doesn't stop there, though. Halloween candy is coming out on the shelves, if you guys haven't noticed, and it is so expensive. America being forced to opt out of trick-or-treating.
$30 for a bag of candy.
Bag of Reese's peanut butter cups, yep.
$30.
Yeah, but there's something more to this, If you can get rid of these traditions Americans have had forever, the gatherings, the coming togethers.
Yeah.
If you get rid of all of this, and we have fireworks shows that are going on, they're using drone shows. Like they forgot what bombs burst in the air and rockets' red glare actually meant and what it stood for. So this is not just an erosion of your money. This is not just exploiting it. It's also taking away your traditions.
Your traditions.
Which is what creates community and what creates unity, Malik 2649 says, and we're the ones in trouble for printing our own money. We are in trouble for printing our own money. Waffle House is like eating in a gas station bathroom.
Yeah.
Nito says, when I worked at Waffle House in the early 80s, that meal was $2.99. Yeah, those days are over, folks. Builders are running the same playbook from 2008 right now. 90% of new construction deals are low, no down payment plus rate buy downs. So the builders now, because there's so many more houses than buyers, and because of all of this, what they're doing is they're offering zero money down. They're offering buy down of rates. And if you guys remember, this happened once before. Do you remember when this was? It was the years leading up to the great housing crisis in 2008, and they did nothing to fix it. We're right back doing the exact same thing right now, except we'll add a couple things to it, which I'll talk about later, because we're giving special loans based upon your race as well. Just a friendly warning, and this is from Representative Jack Kimball. We don't even make $200,000 per year in Congress despite working nearly 140 days. If we aren't properly compensated, a lot of us will just go to the private sector, and you'll be left with some real idiots in Congress. Congress thinks they need a raise. Middle Class Party says, here's a sentence that should terrify every politician in America. People are financing groceries. Milk, eggs, pasta, dinner, buy now, pay later. Could you imagine going to the store and financing your groceries? Right? We took something humans have needed for several thousand years and somehow turned it into a financial product. Pretty soon, they're going to ask if you'd like to finance your Chipotle bowl over 12 easy payments. If Americans need debt to eat, I don't want to hear another speech about how strong this economy really is.
Ouch.
Good point. Yeah, and to celebrate all of this, our national debt is $40 trillion. You guys probably know this, but you know what's crazy about the $40 trillion is half of it's come in the last 30, not half of the 40 trillion, half of the last $1 trillion has been generated in the last 30 days. Right, so the current debt's $40 trillion, debt per person $120,000, but debt per taxpayer is $288. So if you don't pay taxes, you're only in the hole for 120 grand. If you actually pay taxes, you're in the hole for 288. Right, just today only, we added $60.6 billion to our debt. Right, we pay $3.8 billion every single day in interest.
That is crazy.
Right, which means if you do $11.3 billion today, that's $1 trillion every 88 days. The national U.S. debt hit a record high of $40 trillion. And out of the 45 U.S. presidents in history, President Trump is now solely responsible for 28.6% of the national debt. I know there are a lot of Trump supporters out there, and there's some things he does that are great. And I'm even going to talk about some of them tonight. But this is not just prosperity for the people.
That doesn't look like him.
Well, it's not prosperity for the people, man. It's not. This is more debt, more in slavery, more on the backs of the American people. You know, this should make every single person angry. Thought you guys would enjoy this. So this is our debt over time. And if you look prior to current levels, the only time we reached where we were, our debt was 100% of GDP was back during World War II. See, baby, you can see it right here? That's World War II.
Oh, yep.
And then if you look at that graph, it goes down through the Great Depression. This is our debt, right? So if you look like at the Great Depression, it was about 40% of GDP. And then you've seen a spike about 2006 up through 2008, right? There's the bailouts, right? We were bailing out Freddie Mae and Fannie Mac, and we bailed out General Motors and we bailed out Chrysler, right? That's that big jump that you see right there, right? And then if you project this out on that same trajectory with no increases, it'll be 156% of GDP in 2055. Today, it's 122.6, the highest level since after World War II. This, guys, they're not just going to pay off. They have to inflate this away. So that's inflation. If they're going to inflate it away, that means they're going to run the prices of everything up in order to inflate it out or replace it with another currency. That's really their only choices they have. Mm-hmm. Because, again, it can't go on, forever.
That's right.
Yep. Grace says, one of my clients works with developers around Atlanta. There have been no new work in the last 2 months, and this is the busy season. Yep. I would imagine housing prices are about to crash. And I'm really curious on our local levels, what does the county commission do when they've rode these artificial housing values up, which has allowed them to collect all these big taxes and allowed these budgets to increase and hire new employees and all of this stuff? When those housing prices start crashing, what happens then? Are they really going to downsize, or are they just going to expect you to participate?
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
They'll start taking your houses.
Yeah. Ogden Valley residents are pushing back because it's happening right now all around us, guys. Because of these things, the Ogden Valley powers that be, the deciders, are proposing a 512% property tax increase at the public hearing Tuesday night, according to ABC4. 512% increase in Utah. 512. I put this in here because it's the biggest one I had seen. I'm fighting my county right now over a 10% one. But just so you know, it was 40% last year and 30% the year before that. So it's bad enough, but we're fighting over 10%. Could you imagine a 512% increase in property tax?
No.
Yep. The Trump administration is looking at indexing capital gains to inflation when you sell your primary home. Right now, if you bought a house decades ago and it skyrocketed in value, you can get hit with a massive tax bill even after the current $250,000, $500K exclusion. Indexing to inflation would stop the government from taxing phantom gains caused by inflation. So basically what they're saying is Trump is proposing that, back up. So let's say that you today, if you bought a house for $100,000 and you sold it for $300,000, you pay capital gains on $200,000. But the dirty dog in all of that is that did the house really gain in value, or it was the money printing and all of these things that caused that spike? And what Trump's saying is that inflation should be calculated in it before you pay that capital gains tax, which I would applaud this. This would be a good boy. G-Dog says national debt is not the fault of the current administration. I don't see how that's true at all, G-Dog. I respectfully disagree 100%. I don't want to say it's all their fault, but they played a role in it. You know, spend. You know, let's see. This was a horrible story. So, a branch of hell on earth, children found in prison inside a concrete cage for years in America. The American police in the state of Ohio have taken 16 children aged 18 months to 18 years into custody inside a filthy, dilapidated house in horrific conditions. The children lived there for 4 years, crammed into a small room surrounded by fecal waste, insects, and filth. The authorities described the children as appearing almost feral due to their complete isolation. Some of them had completely lost the ability to speak and emitted strange sounds, while the eldest girl, 18, was found to be illiterate and unable to even write her own name. The perpetrators, their father, his wife, the grandfather, and grandmother, succeeded in hiding several children from the state for over 20 years by preventing the issuance of any official documents or enrolling them in any schools. The children were transported to a hospital by helicopter in extreme critical condition, while the four monsters were arrested after denying the charges with complete coldness before the judge. How in the world could we treat
What's the bottom picture supposed to be?
People like that? That was just a rusted door that they found him in. But could you imagine doing that to another human being? Man, we've lost our way. Oh, this was good. You guys following the Fauci stuff? Oh my goodness. So there's a lot of stuff coming out in his diary and in his phone. Apparently he didn't think they could get to it, and that maybe he was pardoned and they'd never come looking. I don't know. But one of the most extraordinary entries found in his diaries was that he got a call from Albert Bourla, the CEO of Pfizer, expressing concerns about AstraZeneca's likely trying to get a EUA for that's emergency use authorization for their vaccine before the big companies Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson completed their phase 3 trials. We discussed what to do. He suggested that he ask the companies to sign an agreement that they will all strive for completion of phase 3 studies before decisions are made. I suggested that we get the scientific community involved, who should demand to see the data upon which the FDA would make the decision. So basically, they were negotiating behind the scenes on when to release what for its greatest amount of profit. Mike says, Trump took on $8 trillion in his first term. Biden took another $8.5 trillion during his term. No difference between the two. And look at no difference between the two. I agree. Matt Wallace says Fauci was telling his friends and family to avoid the COVID vaccine while forcing the public to blindly accept the serious miscarriage risks he knew about. This absolutely blew me away. There is some liberal white women who on the left that are turning COVID booster shots into a trend, and they're celebrating it online, using it as a form of abortion, because there's so much studies now saying that it caused, miscarriages, basically. The mandate in the doctor recommended COVID-19 shots for pregnant women was effectively an abortion shot, according to new documents just released by Senator Johnson and Paul. The auditors claim a miscarriage rate of 12.6%, but the new raw data revealed an 82% miscarriage rate in women vaccinated during the first trimester. This is consistent with the 81% miscarriage rate noted in the Pfizer's 5.3.6 postmarked data. So if you actually read into the Pfizer books, the Pfizer actually used an 81% number and then hid the record. So, they've been talking for years and years, right, about we're too overpopulated. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Senator Ron Johnson believes that Dr. Fauci deleted his contact list from his phone to cover up his 34,000 text messages. The only reason he would do this would be to hide who he was talking to. What's odd about it is there are only 3 contacts in his contact list on his phone. Every other text has a phone number attached to it. So it indicates to me that Anthony Fauci or someone deleted his contacts list. So now we got to trace and find out who those phone numbers belong to. We'll get the phone numbers. We will keep digging. G-Dog says, Fauci lied and people died. Unfortunate end of story. He won't be prosecuted. Luke says, did you verify the Ohio story from any other sources? Several red flags related to the credibility of that story. Foreign source, all flown by helicopter, not likely for several reasons. Clickbait, maybe. I tried to find at least 2 sources, and I did find that story in 2 places.
The Ohio, the people?
Yeah, the Ohio. But here's the thing, Luke.
I saw that on the news.
Yeah, I don't know if any of them are true, because the fact is the matter, I rely on what I can find or what I can track down, but I wasn't there. I wasn't there when Fauci made these phone calls. I wasn't there when he did the text, but boy, is it sure all over everywhere. Kathleen Austin Fitz on why U.S. leadership wants to depopulate us. And I put this in here because if you are pushing a vaccine that in studies has an 81% miscarriage rate, right? Why would you continue on with that? Now, maybe it was just purely for profit, purely for money and being evil, or maybe there was something a little more sinister to it. They believe that they're going to live for a very long time, says Catherine Austin Fitz. And I don't know if you guys know who she is, but I love her. Very smart lady, worked for the federal government for a long time. Let me see. They believe they're going to live for a long, long time. And with robotics and automations, they think they don't need a lot of people, and a lot of people are hard to manage. Jared Kushner, when he left the first Trump administration, did a podcast and said, I'm the first generation to live forever. The last generation to, not live forever. Sean Parker, one of the co-founders of Facebook, said, I'm a billionaire, so I'm going to live to be 145. And if the oligarchs are going to live to 145, one of the things they know is not everyone can do that. You're going to have an environmental problem, right? If you look at what they are doing to build the control grid, clearly they think if they can accomplish that, it's going to make it much easier to manage a lot of people. But frankly, they don't necessarily want them around. They don't need them. And so I do believe that many of them feel they would be much better off with much lower populations. Yeah, Captain Nelson does. Yeah, G-Dog's correct. 100% right there. She does rock. Normal isn't coming back, folks. And, we looked at that pricing. We looked at all this. And it is absolutely not coming back. So please get off your asses and start resisting, because I can assure you what they have planned is far worse than anything they've already done. Let's see I got to be a truck and I got 19 minutes. Okay. Let's see. Some victories from the Trump side. Trump just fixed childhood vaccines, coming out here pretty quick. I mean, I don't like any of all this, but instead of the 72 shots, they're going to require 11. So they're getting rid of a bunch of those, which I think that's good. Also, charges were dropped against Dr. Kirk Moore, and he was the hero who handed out vaccine cards and administered saline solutions instead of the actual COVID vaccine. And he was acquitted, and he said, I did the right thing. I would do it again. Also, Trump ordered the attorney generals to fight states that block religious and medical exemptions, which I think is cool. And he also signed an executive order allowing parents to sue states if they don't allow their children to opt out of vaccines by using religious exemptions. Those are wins. Again, I don't think it goes far enough, but it's a win. Head on spikes. Ohio story was reported on previously. I live in Ohio. After East Palestine, the state is getting a bad rep. Yeah, I bet. Let's see here. Federal bill introduced to terminate vaccine cartels' 40-year liability shield. This would be a gigantic win, right? If they could actually make it to where the vaccine makers were actually liable for what they put out there, that'd be amazing, right? Let's see here. Luke says, understandable. There's a point where every story being accurate isn't the point. Part of it is understanding the depraved nature of people. Another part is questioning the motives of the narrative. 100%. And I think we got to question all of it, right? Aaron Siri says the vaccines are so safe, they don't need immunity. As a U.S. Senator, have the courage of your convictions and become a sponsor of Bill S-3853, end of the Vaccine Carve-Out Act, to repeal the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act, which granted that immunity. If you won't, what does that say about you? If this Fauci situation teaches us one thing, it's that those who do their own research and think for themselves aren't rebellious. They're smart. Edward says, don't know if you ever talked about it, but look into the Socialist Agenda 2029. It's the new Marxist plan. Yeah, and I've talked about it. It's actually Agenda 2030 now, but I've talked about it in absolute length. Edward, there's so much out about it, and all the stuff lines up pretty well with it. This absolutely blows me away. I might piss somebody off in here, but if this pisses you off, you should be pissed off, and perfectly fine. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey just legalized abortion up to the moment of birth. Wow. So in Massachusetts, you can go in there and you can have an abortion to the day of your birth.
To their birth.
Yeah, to the baby's birth. That is evil.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely evil. I want to clear something up so that there's absolutely no doubt. I'm a board certified OBGYN who has delivered over 2,500 babies, says Dr. Omar Hamada, MD. There's not a single fetal or maternal condition that requires a third trimester abortion. Not one. Delivery, yes. Abortion, no. Let me tell you something. Anybody who thinks it's okay to rip the limbs from a child that's being born, you deserve to go to hell. That's what I think. Let's see here. More's coming. Operation River is just one of them. FBI Director Kash Patel, what they didn't count on was Trump winning. And actually this makes a lot of sense to me and kind of lines up. The FBI confirms that it's sitting on nearly 2 million pages of burned bag records deliberately hidden in the secret rooms from the Barack Obama and Joe Biden administrations related to Russiagate, Jack Smith lawfare aimed at taking down the United States government, including the overthrow during the 2020 elections. And just once that came out, then Trump, right behind it, is going full scorched earth on Hussein Obama, on Obama and his cabal. He says, after what they did to me, whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Trump says he caught Obama, Hillary, and all of them, and now it's time. So I absolutely hope that it's time. I hope we see arrests. I hope so. Amy B says, how does people in good conscience work for vaccine manufacturers? Are there really that many sociopaths among us? Helen says, that is evil and a mortal sin. Jen says, Reagan gave Big Pharma a pass, and now Big Chem has also been giving a pass. Grace says, such evil. Dana Green gives me mean and sad faces. G-Dog says Fauci was all about himself. Any religious person talks about how they can affect, relate, help other people. He's not that person. Dana Green says no words. Yeah, it's tragic on so many levels. The Ukrainian prosecutor Joe Biden had fired just exposed $350 billion in U.S. taxpayer dollars meant for Ukraine going to the globalist networks. You guys probably remember this story. Remember when that Biden had a prosecutor fired over there and there was that big controversy? Well, this person that was fired is now publicly speaking. And so he's been being debriefed for some time now. And I'm really looking forward to following the story. Although, can we believe anything that comes out of the Ukraine? I don't know. Right. North Korea has said that they will deploy 50,000 more troops to the Russian war. They're going to station them in the Ukraine and I think in Belarus. Is that what they said? Let me see here. I didn't say. There's one other country. Anyone I was reading the story. So, we talk a lot about how World War III and sides are being drawn. Do you think 50,000 North Korean troops being added to the couple thousand they already have deployed there? Right? That shows picking lines to me. Edward says, can't say much about it without getting in trouble, but ICE was just in Seneca. Really? That's interesting. I'd love to talk to you one-on-one about that. That's crazy.
I didn't even tell you when, but it happened.
Yeah. G-Dog, $350 billion. Is that a lot? Laugh out loud. Again, and that's so funny. You got to put context to it, right? Yeah. None of us even hardly know what $350 billion is. Jen says, it's a paper tiger threat. Not a stinking thing will happen. His own words were he couldn't go after Hillary because it wouldn't look good to go after a president's wife. I remember that. Ukraine lost a huge amount of money from the U.S. and Zelensky said if we gave him more money, he could find the initial amount ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous. Here we go. Some more good news. Taylor Farms. This was the farm behind that big lettuce outbreak. Mm-hmm. You guys remember all of that? Taylor Farms now is recalling jalapenos items at Walmart, Target over salmonella risks. Isn't that excellent? Yep. Go to Walmart and
well, it sounds like Taylor Farms need to do a cleanup.
Yeah, sounds like
because they had the lettuce problem too.
Helping us work on our immune system. I'm going to start blowing through this stuff, guys, just because I'm down to 11 minutes. But so flock cameras, there were now 26 cops have lost their jobs, and more than 50 were charged with over using flock cameras to stalk women. And it seems like there's more and more of this coming on. You've probably also seen that the flock camera investor, that there's investors that own flock that are also funding an Israeli spy company called Toka, Toka. And Toka can hack and alter live recorded video. So I thought, well, let's check that out. And this is, Luke the Drifter, right? Track it down, see if it's right. So I went and investigated Toka. And Toka is a privately held venture capital company, backed cybersecurity company owned by its founder, Yaron Rosen, Waldman, Cantor, Ued Barak. These are all Israeli people, right? Along with major investors such as Anderson Horowitz. So Anderson Horowitz is also an owner of Flock Camera. I verified that today. Right? Dana Green says they're still selling Taylor Farms in our local stores in East Texas. Grace says Dig Dug is growing his own jalapenos. Heck yeah. Right. So anyway, it absolutely continues. This lady, the first picture on the left, she has a smart meter and she has smart appliances. A woman went to lower her air conditioner in her home, and her smart AC gave her a warning she was not allowed to lower the temperature. My own thermostat was 79. It had a little warning that said you are not allowed to lower your thermostat set point because the energy grid in your region is already stressed. This is with Xcel Energy in Colorado. This woman enrolled in Xcel Energy's voluntarily demand response AC reward style program. So they give you this program, no different than you go to a gas station and you got your little card, or a grocery store. And this is what all this is. You guys, you should resist those, never use those. Throw them away, cut them up, never use them. But this lady all of a sudden volunteered to a program. Now they get to control when she gets air conditioning. But to make it even worse, things are going to heat up very quickly. Wow, isn't it so great that you can now pay with your hand? This lady in the picture on the right got chips put in her hands. And she was so excited to walk up to that cash register and pay with a swipe of her hand. Does she not understand what she's doing? Mm-mm. The government will control your money. They'll know your location. They'll know your history. They'll know all your social media interactions. They'll know who you're intimate with. They'll know who you're next to. They will know all of those things. The Gates Foundation just developed the Mark of the Beast microneedle implants that install permanently quantum dot markings and mRNA into your body, planned for deployment during the next pandemic. G-Dog says they have that in Minnesota too, the thermostat thing. Yeah, that is crazy. This is why I have my own stuff, right? I don't want anybody doing that. Let's see here. It looks like China and America are both dumping Saudi Arabia from a petrol perspective. China is going to go with Russia and trade in the yuan. And we just hit 0 Saudi barrels in July for the first time in 41 years. In developments going on overseas, we talk a lot about World War III and people picking sides. Japan, Britain, France, Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands have pledged support for securing the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, they changed their mind awful quick. And America continues to bomb over there. And again, it looks like those lines are being drawn. Let's see here. Chinese professor. This was a super interesting read. Zhang made a terrifying warning. He says there's an 80 to 90% chance World War III is about to begin. He claims his 2024 predictions on Trump, Iran, and the war all came true. Now he's making 8 new predictions. Russia enters the war, and he's talking about with Iran. China follows. North Korea makes its move. The U.S. fighters on multiple fronts. And his most shocking prediction, Trump could find a path to a third term, is his final warning. When empires collapse, the people who survive are the ones who built community before they really needed it. And take that as a warning, which is obviously why I put that on there, right? Yeah. Because what he's saying is you got to have a tribe. And those are the ones who find a way to battle their way through it. They're not ours, says Marco Rubio. This was super crazy. Now, why in the world would he say this? But I don't know what it is, but there are things flying over our military installations, and they are not ours. We should look into this, he says. What? Like you're not monitoring? There's no way they're not monitoring that 24/7 and all over that. It's been happening on this for years. Myself and Anna Paulina Luna have been doing a great job with it, and a lot of Congress just turns their back to it. Yeah, I think it's because they're turning their back because World War III has already started and it's going on. There's a gigantic coup going on inside of America. And you got the fight siding inside of America, and the side that wants Trump and all those sides defeated, right? They're siding with the enemy. The enemy of my enemy is a friend of mine, right? Nito says, our daughter in Texas had her thermostat reset itself because of being connected in the ERGOT electric utility in Texas. Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. Let's see here. U.S. city shutdown, state of emergency. If you guys don't know this, there's been a bunch of water systems attacked across our country through cyber attacks. So they're blaming it on the Iranians. Who knows, right? Of course they are. But it was interesting that after that all happened, Iran announced that they were preparing to carry out a large-scale attack on American soil. Could just be saber rattling. Yeah. I don't know. But specifically mentioned Wyoming, Utah, Nebraska, Colorado, New Mexico, Washington, and California. I guess we'll have to see if that really happens. Virginia Public Schools are allowing foreign migrant English speakers to enroll in their high schools up to age 22. So if you're a migrant and you're in this country, illegally, legally, whatever it is, you can be in high school up to the age of 22. Muslims are demanding in Michigan that church bells on Sunday be silenced. Muslims are demanding in Michigan that church bells on Sunday be removed, right? This is a wake-up call to everybody. Let's see, just in, Trump's housing director, Bill Pute, is investigating Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac for allowing Sharia law financing in their homes. So they have changed, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have changed the lending requirements to be more favorable towards Muslims. Insane. And Newark, Newark, New Jersey, like Newark, right? Just hosted the Islamic flag over their town hall. So lovely.
Wow.
Yep. Absolutely lovely. We have lost our freaking minds. Dearborn police chief. I don't know if you guys are following all this. There's a city council meeting coming up in Dearborn. And there are like so many bikers and so many people heading there to stand up and to protest. The Dearborn police chief came out against that and said, we knew this would happen someday, just not soon. The chief is a disgrace to the badge. He came out and asked everybody to stay home. They're having a public city council meeting, and the police chief is asking everybody to stay home. And I don't know if I can pronounce this right, Hamtramck is the first Muslim majority city in America, and an all Muslim council just legalized backyard animal sacrifice. Mm-hmm. The non-Muslim minority showed up to eject. They were outvoted, and now you can kill pets in your backyard. Now, I don't know if you guys see that as a big deal or not, but G-Dog says Michigan seems upside down. Michigan's lost. Minnesota's right there too. Let's see here. City of Austin is hosting a Stop Muslim Hate rally, so you can go to that if you'd like. Let's see. No, I'll just skip that. This is Matt Walsh. This is unconstitutional on 20 different levels. You can't pass a law that specifically favors one religion. Let's start with that. And to specifically favor Islam of all religions, it's not illegal, but totally absurd and farce. Massachusetts moves to create a Muslim commission to help place Muslims in government and shape the state's policies. Crazy. So the same state that said abortion was okay up to birth, right, so that we can cut our birth rates down, mm-hmm. right, is now changing around. Massachusetts is lost. I don't know how they stopped that. In this House, number 3351, that's the actual resolution that I pulled from it. University of Michigan announced it's no longer going to give grades to freshmen because they can't handle it. They get too stressed. America's government-run schools are one of the worst investments in history. No matter how much money we spend, the results don't improve. If you actually look at the graph, spending has done nothing but increase when test results are either down or flat for students. Money's clearly not the problem. And finally, look at this, an hour and 58 minutes and 50 seconds. I hustled right through that. Good job. I did. How to exit the matrix. And these
There
are our
you go.
parting words as we leave here tonight, right? First one is stop running the script. The life path they sold you, school, debt, career, retire, die, that is not your path. Find meaning in your life. Do what you want to do. Quit participating in a system that looks to enslave you. You get that choice. Own your own mind. Free thinkers can't be controlled. Question everything, especially what common sense or settled truth claims to be. Unplug from dependency, food, water, power, and income. The fewer of these they provide, the less control they have. How many times have you guys heard me say a general wants to fight a battle on one front because every front he fights, it splits his resources. It works the same way for you. You want to fight the fight on one front, two fronts, not on 100 fronts. This is why it's important to have your own food, water, power, and income. Master your state. Find those who create instead of complain. Meditate, breathe, move, ground. A calm soul is the system's worth nightmare. Choose your tribe. Surround yourself with builders, not beggars. Seek allies who inspire, challenge, and elevate you. Only surround yourself with people who make you better. That is absolutely good advice. Guard your frequency. Music, media, conversations. Every signal either wires you deeper into the matrix or pulls you out. Focus on those 6 things, and then never remember, Thomas Edison said, when you have exhausted all possibilities, remember this, you haven't. Tag out.
Be out.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See you in a week.